So let's talk just a couple minutes on properly expressing financial returns. I'm not here to give you a real estate finance or capital budgeting course, but I am here to open your eyes to think, finally realize, to see that simple payback period doesn't get the job done. It doesn't present your stuff in the best possible light, and it doesn't do anything to increase the net worth of your customer. This is knee-jerk reaction, lowest common denominator, most coarse screening criterion being used as a proxy for risk mitigation. People say, well, I don't want to do anything over a 2-year payback. Why do they say that? Part of why they say that may be because they don't trust your numbers. So they figure, oh, I really can use a 4-year payback, but if I tell the guy 2-year payback, if he's half wrong, I still get my return. Part of it is because they've been doing this ever since they started in business. When I started in business in 1980 in California, prime was at 18.75%. In fact, in 1981, it went to 21%. Back then, if I had been standing at the teller window of Bank of America, ready to input money into a 6-month CD, which, by the way, at that point was 16%, and I was still looking for a better rate, 16%, and the guy tapped me on the shoulder behind me. He's a controls contractor, and he says, well, what? He said, why are you giving them your money? What do you mean, why? That's 16%. I can get you 3 times the return if you put a control system in your building. You could. So, okay, maybe control system is 3 times riskier than the 6-month CD. You really can give me 3 times? Yeah. What's 3 times 16? 48. Let's round it up, 50%. You can give me a 2-year payback. Okay, fine. Sorry, teller, I'll be back with my next payroll deposit, but this money's staying with him. Now, advance into today. You use the same philosophy. A control system is 3 times riskier than the 6-month CD. 6-month CDs are how much? Let's say it's 0.6%, which I think is high. 3 times that is 1.8%. Well, let's round it up to be fair to 2%. 2% is a 50-year simple payback period. 50 years, that would be 50. The other day I was making an IRA deposit at Wells Fargo Bank, and I asked they were doing all the paperwork, and I asked them, I said, by the way, you haven't mentioned anything about the rate. He says, oh, well, let me check what that rate is. It's 0.05%. I said, wow, 5%, that's really high. He said, no, 0.05%. I'm thinking, like if I take the money out in a year with a small amount, do you even have a full penny to give me? I mean, that bank, by the way, Wells Fargo, how many people here bank with Wells Fargo Bank? Okay, anybody remember what candy they give away at the teller window? It's a dum-dum sucker. Now, what marketing agency in the world would tell a bank paying these returns to give each transaction, would you like a dum-dum sucker? I mean, come on, they couldn't use Good and Plenty or I don't know, Smarties? I don't know. I mean, Mary Jane's, for God's sake, anything but dum-dum suckers. I digress. Okay. The bottom line is, as you get closer to this mathematical analysis, you'll realize that the alternative with the lowest first cost is often the one with the highest life cycle cost. And you know this, right? And if you have any doubt about this, just ask yourself if you've ever done, well, I'll just give you 2 words in the English language. Inkjet printer. You walk into Staples. Oh my God, how can they make these things? $100. It's a fully functioning, office jet, bubbled, whatever, all in one. And then you realize why they could give that to you for $100. You're going to Costco every 3rd day, buying 6 packs of 3 cartridges for $100. Right? When I first, out of idiocy, applied an inkjet printer to my first business, it was going through ink so fast I had to look under it. I thought it was leaking. So if you think the cheapest price is where you're going with this thing, good luck. Your customers have to be convinced that you have looked at a life cycle cost analysis and that actually selling the higher first cost, premium efficiency solution is the way to go. And one of the things we talk about in EEO is exactly how to do that. So, is your customer focusing on the right cost? Are you focusing on the right cost as you go to market competitively? So, which metrics should you avoid? The popular metrics, believe it or not, simple payback period, return on investment, internal rate of return, they're all terrible. And I can say this with authority because my background at the Wharton School of Finance was finance. So this is not just something I cooked up. SPP, ROI, ROI all have strategic disabilities in terms of capital budgeting decision making, which is what you do. You're trying to convince people to do capital expenditures to reduce operating expenses. And if you use these 3 metrics only, you're probably going to come up with a bunch of wrong decisions. So which financial metrics should you emphasize? Present value, net present value. Modified internal rate of return, which takes into account the rate of return you're going to get on the dollars of savings you return, but also savings to investment ratio. How many dollars you're going to get back per dollar of present value that you invested? You get familiar with these, and it may seem like, oh my God, myrrh. I've never heard of myrrh. Is that one of the things that the 3 wise men gave out Frankincense and myrrh? No. Myrrh is a modified internal rate of return. This stuff is not difficult. We could teach you this, and we'd actually do it in the EEO program in about an hour. And now you'll be able to confidently say, listen, here's your projection using simple pay period, ROI, and IRR. And here's your projection using these. And guess what? You will lose money over here if you pick this choice over that choice based on those three bad metrics. But over here, you'll actually have a higher net present value. Your organization will be healthier financially as a result of using better metrics. And we give you the backup and that sort of thing of how you can put this to work. So learning when to use each metric, and there's simple rules of thumb. If you're doing a mutually exclusive decision, let's say a boiler is going to go, and you have to replace the boiler, how do you replace the boiler? Well, you decide which one has the lowest life cycle cost. That's a mutually exclusive decision. You may look at 3 different vendors, each with good, better, and best. You'll have 9 alternatives swimming around the buyer's head. But at the end of the day, he's going to buy one. That's a lowest life cycle cost alternative. And it's up to you to prove that your higher first cost, premium efficiency boiler is the one they should buy. Okay, same thing with control systems. Now, what about the other thing where you go in and you do an energy audit equipped with the tools and techniques that EEO gives you, and you come up with a program where they have 5 things they could do, but they don't have enough capital to do 5 things. So it's your job as the trusted advisor to tell them which of these 5 things they should do and in which order. How do you do that? Well, first, you make sure that no finalist on that list made it there unless it was the lowest life cycle alternative from this side of the room. Second, you make sure that none of those projects has a negative net present value, which means that none of them gives you back less money over time than what you actually invested when you apply the organization's hurdle rate to it. The third thing is you calculate either the MIRR or the SIR, both of which Excel can do for you easily, and you rank them from highest to lowest, either MIRR or SIR, and you fund them in that order until you run out of money. Now, the only 2 mitigating circumstances are, 1, if you have something in imminent need of replacement, like it's ready to blow up, you have to put that at the top of the list. And 2, there will be times where you're in the ceiling with the trade and you say, you know, while we're in here, we'll do this. So you may get a measure number 7 and put it up higher. Interestingly enough, I was talking to a group, and they were talking about how they sold a very large project to a university, and the university, the budget director said, thank you very much for coming up with this report. Thank you for listing these measures in lowest to highest simple payment period. He took his red El Marco, and he drew a line between the 2 and 3 year payback items. Says, okay, we'll do everything at the top of the list, less than 2 year payback, and the rest of these, thanks for playing. The controls contractor was very present of mind. He said, excuse me, respectfully submitted, if you spend $20 million on everything that's above that line, they will not see, they meaning the students, the population that actually inhabits this campus, will not see any of any of those measures. If, on the other hand, you reach down into the lower payback issues and you see this energy control system, which will have a new thermostat on every wall and will actually improve the comfort of this campus, they will know how you spent their money. And even more, what's the purpose of this campus? It's to increase learning outcomes. So if you put this up there, not only will you get something visible, the optics will say you spent the money wisely, but now you'll have an outcome that you will be proud of because it will encourage learning and comfort and productivity throughout all these campus buildings. And on that very, very short elevator pitch, bam, the 5.5 year payback went right up in that top thing. The guy says, you know what, that's a good point. I'm telling you, it works. You just have to know how to do it. Okay, so could learning more about these topics help you drive more revenue? I'm here to tell you it can. I mean, we have the Efficiency Sales Professional Institute. Our whole raison d'etre, our whole gestalt is making sure that people like you are successful.